Good morning and welcome back to Papa B's Old Time Repair and Restoration. In the last video, you may, if you watched it, you saw that we got the main case for the DI cleaned up. We used the hot water pressure washer on it, and you may have noticed right at the end that we had an almost mishap where the case was moving around on the platform. So what I'd like to show you today is what I've done to remedy that situation. I'd also like to show you what we're getting ready to go ahead and repair as far as getting the DI ready for reassembly. I do have a viewer question for you, and I would really love your comments. And I'll also show you what we have already received back that has been repaired for the DI. So come along with me and we'll see what we get into on this episode. If you watched the last video, you saw last week we got the hot water pressure washer out after the DI case, and it looks pretty good. I'll show you some close-ups here in a minute, but if you watched the video, you may have noticed right there at the last when I was operating the forklift that I almost lost the case off of this platform. So I thought, well, we better do something about that. So I got some iron and welded up just a couple of fabricated brackets. I'm using the pivot point for the drawbar on the back of the case, and I'm using the radius arm pivot on the front, and I've got that channel bolted to the platform. I don't have it welded, I don't have the channel iron welded fully. I've got it tacked really well in case I want to cut it up and use it for something else someday. So that has been a major improvement. I can push this around and move it without any fear of it rocking off the wooden blocks. So that's good. And I believe I'll be able to bolt the axles, get the transmission put in, and even get the block fitted to the main case without moving it off the platform. So that's been a good improvement. Let me show you what else I found. The inside of the transmission case came out really well. It still needs to be wiped down with some mineral spirits. Sorry about the hand there. But by and large, it's pretty nice. I think it's going to be good to go here in a bit. But I found an issue, and I've got some more work to do on the engine crankcase. If I can get you in close here. I want to use my finger here, right there. I took a wire brush to this just a while ago because I thought that was rust, and it is rust. But the wire brush took it off pretty well. So and you can see it's on some spots. It's not so much right there in the corner, but it really gets bad right over here in this corner and around that part of the case. I've went around the top edge with the wire brush already. So I'm going to have to get in here, and I've got a wire brush, one of those little carbon brushes that's used in a die grinder. And I'm going to get in there and see what I can do with this case. And probably going to have to wash this a second time, and you can see right here around this edge where I haven't gone, it's pretty rusty, and see we lose the rust right there. So it just it's in certain spots, but that's all because of the amount of condensation this case had in it. So we're going to get after it with a wire brush, and we'll see what kind of results we get. Well, it's been about an hour or so of scrubbing and cleaning with the wire brush on the die grinder, and let's see what we've got. I've got a light here. I think we're in pretty good shape. There is a little bit of staining there. I have gone over this crankcase with mineral spirits and wiped it out, blew it out, and I think it's going to work. I was using those black gloves on my hands while I was using the mineral spirits, like you get at Harbor Freight and such, and I did find a few places I missed with those gloves. That rust would kind of tend to grab those gloves, and so I found a couple more spots, but I have been over this, just pretty well. Let's see if I can get the light in there. I think we've got that to where we can do it. And I also came over here and wiped down the transmission case again, got up in the top areas, and things that may have missed a little bit with the pressure washer. So, but I think the transmission case is looking pretty good. So, good enough. So we've been over the inside of this case a couple of times with mineral spirits, so I do have a viewer question for you, and I would really like your comments and your opinions as to what to do next. A lot of people are using Gliptol on the inside of these cases, and I'm a little bit on the fence on what to do. I know it makes it look really nice inside, but even after a couple of rounds of mineral spirits on the inside of this case, I'm still picking up a little residue, and I could wash it again with the pressure washer. Really at a loss on what to try to do, because the last thing that I want to have happen is for that Gliptol to delaminate itself off of the case and start floating around in the transmission oil. So here's my question to you. I know Gliptol is a sealant, and it makes a nice finish, but is it absolutely necessary? What would you do if this was your tractor case? And I look forward to seeing your comments down below, and we'll see what the final decision is when we get those answers. Okay, a couple of things that I need to get taken care of before we put the transmission back together, aside from the opinion on the Gliptol coating on the inside of the case, is I'm going to order some new bushings for this reverse idler. There is a little bit of wear on this shaft, but as you can see, there is a good bit of wear on the inside of the bushings. So I'm going to attempt to just polish this a little bit and then maybe make the new bushings into a snug fit to where when they get down into the war area will be right. But you can see I've got quite a bit of play right there in that, and I'd like to take some of that out before I go any further. The second thing I need to do is I need to replace this brake lining on the differential brake. Now, that in the earlier D's, I guess from the inception all the way up to through 1936, this brake band fit around a smooth place on the differential gear, and so it's time to take care of this brake lining. So I need to make an order with my supplier to not only get the bushings, but we'll take care of this brake lining as well and get that riveted up and get it ready to go back into the tractor. Also, in the last video, I mentioned that I was getting ready to send the crankshaft off to the shop to get polished, and also that I had sent the camshaft off to get it ground and inspected as well. And would you believe that the camshaft is already back from the grinder? And I think it looks amazing. I'm so glad to have that part out of the way. I sent this to Barry Cam up in Minnesota, and they really turned it around quick, and so I appreciate them doing that. And also, I delivered the crankshaft to Oklahoma City on a Friday, which would actually be, when this video is being shot, would have been a week ago tomorrow. And they called Monday before noon and said the crankshaft was ready. So the crankshaft has been cleaned, it's been inspected, and it's been polished. So I've got to make a trip to Oklahoma City to get that picked up. But we're definitely making some good progress toward getting this DI back together. Well, that's about it for this episode of Papa B's Old Time Repair and Restoration. I'm really excited about the progress we're making on the DI. I'm looking forward to getting some parts stuck back into that case. So if you would please comment on your opinion on Gliptol. I know it's a good product. I don't have any issues about that. I'm just concerned without sandblasting the inside of that case, if that would be an issue as far as adhesion of the product to the case. Is it even necessary? There is a coating, a primer or some type of coating on the inside of the case as it is right now, but please comment below and give me your opinion on what to do. And I'm also excited about the new parts that came in. I'm excited about getting the crankshaft. I need to look forward into my parts pile and get a block picked out, decide what I'm going to do there, if I'm going to bore and put a new set of pistons. I do have a standard block and a standard set of pistons that I think would run. Tell me what you would do in that situation as well. So that's about it. I look forward to hearing your comments. And from Papa B's Old Time Repair and Restoration, I'm Mike. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate all your comments. Appreciate all the support as we get moving on through this DI project. Take care and have a good day. Now what we're getting, I'll start over again. And you may have seen that we had a little bit, did again. So come along and but here's my comment, or my, I'm gonna start over again. I'm just gonna cut it and start again. I'd like to,
oh, crud.